Welcome to the Phlarpin Podcast. Phlarp stands for Park Hills Live Action Role Players. We are a medieval fantasy-themed LARP group that engages in unscripted combat against each other using padded LARP weapons and a shared combat system. We operate out of Park Hills, Missouri every Sunday from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. It is our hope here at the Phlarpin Podcast that through the utilization of this platform, we can expand on the ideas and suggestions taken from our players in order to maximize player retention and to expand our player base. The Phlarpin Podcast is made possible by support from our players and listeners like you. If you would like to support us, please visit our Patreon where you can do so for as little as $3 a month. Also, any engagement on our YouTube or Facebook pages is much appreciated, and thank you for listening.
Welcome to the Phlarpin Podcast. My name is North, or Jason Smith.
And I'm Brandon Frazier, or Daveen Alwyn.
And I am Chris, or Eric the Red.
And I'm Jessie, or the non-living entity, Valkyrie.
Why are you non-living?
Because I can't be killed, and it's great.
Interesting. Okay.
Wow.
We'll have to put that to the challenge, because I'm not sure I believe it.
Are you immortal?
Yeah, pretty much. If I'm non-living, I can't die.
Are you like the immortal?
The
Well,
Highlander, no.
Some versions of immortal mean you don't age.
Oh, no, I age. I definitely age. Leave it alone.
Yeah, buddy. Kill.
Smushed.
I mean, you literally didn't even have it in your fingers. It was down below.
No, that's just a little thingy. Kill. Bam. Done. D-U-N.
D-U-N done.
Yes, sir.
So today is August 6th.
It is.
Tomorrow is the
Trash Bash.
Trash
even though
Bash.
this comes out on Wednesday. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully you were there.
And I will actually be able to attend this.
I'll be there as soon as I get off work, so I'll be like a little bit late.
I'll be there.
Cool.
I have the
I will
bags.
not be there. It's just too much of a drive, you know?
I mean, not everybody can be cool. We'll get it.
Yeah, not everybody can be cool and stay home.
Sorry I live far away.
No. Don't be sorry.
I wasn't.
You know what?
I
Be
know.
sorry. Move back down here, bro.
No.
Join your clan.
So do you guys want to hear my potentially funny story?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
let's
God.
hear it.
Hear it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Potentially, because
Potentially.
I don't know how funny you guys will think it is, but I think it's pretty funny.
Do you have
So-
like a name for this segment that you're doing?
North's potentially funny story.
Okay.
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 So the other day we were going to bed. I was already laid down in bed, and Isaac had just gotten home from work. I think he worked, and he come home, and he was in his room taking his shoes off. And he took his shoes off, right? And he's by himself in there, and he takes his shoes off and he goes, "My dogs are free." And I swear this button down here went bullshit twice. He said it did it twice. So I came down here the next day. So I was like, what the heck? The ghosts are down there recording podcasts or something, you know?
Yeah.
So I come down here the next day, and it was the night that it was one of the nights it had rained when this happened. And so I came down here the next day, and one of the mics, I was trying to figure out whether something actually pressed it. And the water was flooded again down here. And one of the mics had been knocked off. So there was something, like I don't know what. There's no real access to outside of here. So I guess it was a ghost. And but luckily the mic fell in the chair. It didn't fall all the way down into the water.
I'm guessing that means it was my mic,
Yeah, it
because
was.
he keeps pointing.
Yeah, and then the other day he was sleeping. He said he was sleeping, and another one went off, a different one. And I said, well, wouldn't be a big deal if it was just the same one, because maybe that one's like malfunctioning or whatever. But then he said another one, the bullshit one, went off right after the dumbass one. And I was like, well, I don't know, man. Maybe something's down there pushing the buttons or whatever, ghosts or whatever. So
Mouse.
Or a critter.
yeah, or some kind of critter. I did the other day. This leads to underneath my house. Out, like if you go up and over that thing. And there's an access door that was open, but I closed it, so something might be like trapped in here, I guess, potentially. But
Trash Panda.
I didn't see any actual like footprints. I saw some weird little impressions, like where the mud looks like it did build up. See the dirt, like these little weird tracks, whatever this is.
Mhm.
But I couldn't see, like, tell what it was. So
Interesting.
I don't know,
So
but
anyway.
what button do I have?
got that one.
That's a goodbye button.
Bye. Okay.
Anyway,
Anyway, that's my whole story.
I
That
mean,
was-
it is funny.
That is funny.
It was.
The
I
first
don't know
part's
that it's
pretty
like
funny.
laugh out loud funny.
Yeah. It was.
It also could be your delivery. That's something I think I'm figuring out. Is it just like lack
Yeah.
of delivery, maybe?
Right.
You know what I say?
I
we
don't have very
ask
good timing on the delivery.
our viewers. I say we ask them and leave a comment. Is it the way that North?
Is it the delivery or is it the content of the story?
Because
Yeah.
I told the story, but the funny part was kind of in the beginning when he got his dogs out, and then it said bullshit. Thanks for that.
I'm just kidding. It is kind of funny. But again, delivery. Again, delivery.
Delivery. But you know what time it is?
Daveen's
Corner!
All right. I wasn't really prepped for this, but let's go.
Oh, jeez. He's never
Non-living
prepped.
energy, did you back up to get away from the loud noise?
I tried. It didn't work.
Did it work? Yeah, you got headphones
It's
on.
just
so-
like,
See, that's just awkward. All right, so I got 3 today. We'll do 3 of these. All right?
3?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. The first thing, I don't know if I told you this, guys, or not, but I took a ski trip recently to Colorado.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Started off
Literally.
fine, but it went downhill fast.
Cool.
Anyway,
Delayed reaction.
all right,
yes.
next
All
one's
right.
up.
Number 2.
Number 2. 2 fish are in a tank. One says to the other, "Any idea how to drive this thing?" And the last one. What did Cinderella say when she got to the ball?
I don't know.
Not doing that today.
No, she gagged. That's the
She was
joke.
kind of right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, Brandon.
What do you mean, Brandon? I didn't even finish the joke. Also, I'm not Brandon. Anyway, that was
Daveen's Corner.
Okay.
Golf clap.
I don't have a special segment. I need one. So, you know what? Let's just shout out Eric's Ensemble. All my people, I finally know what ensemble means. It's like, the people I gather. So, everybody here that I've gathered, you are my ensemble.
Do we get a choice?
No, but still.
Okay.
Bullshit.
No, there
We
is no
are
choice.
An ensemble.
What happens in this ensemble? Are you going to tell your own jokes in the ensemble, or are you going to...
No, the joke
You
is
need to
that-
borrow some?
Yes, please. At least
At least 3.
At least
three
three.
jokes.
Yeah. I'm sorry I wasn't here last week, and I only got to listen to part of the podcast.
It's okay.
For shame.
Did
But-
you, specifically, mute the parts that North was talking?
I had to.
Yeah.
Like,
Me too.
I
like
get it.
every time he was talking, I was in the middle of doing my training, so I'm in these sims, and it's like I'm already like mind mush trying to do these sims, and I hear North talking, I'm just like, shut up.
That's the way I feel too when I listen to it. So.
Wow. That's pretty brutal.
Especially when he's trying to talk on, playing that
So
game.
mean.
Playing the game, I was just like, yeah, I can't do this right now.
You know how, some people, you make fun of some people because of the way they react to things? I wouldn't make fun of that person, but they get really upset about stupid stuff. North's fun to make fun of for the exact opposite reason. He doesn't care what we say. He's just like, yeah, cool, whatever.
Trust me, I've noticed.
Feeling pretty roasted over
Is that
here.
a giant spider over there underneath the
Oh, it is.
I mean, it's not a little one.
Aw.
It is.
Leave it alone.
Don't
Eat it.
move.
Eat it.
Don't move, or else he's gonna get you.
That's not true. He's
Sorry,
never
guys.
doing
I'm talking to the other Jessica, and she is
I was
deathly
about to say,
terrified
I is not a Jessica.
of spiders. So, yeah, if it moves, we'll know.
it. So anyway,
Let's recap this thing.
all right, Valkyrie, you're up.
Valkyrie.
What did we do today?
Well, we had about 40 players by the end of the time we were there.
Awesome.
That's a
Nice.
good number.
Last man standing. Third was our own Daveen.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Can I? I'm gonna play of the day. I got one. Okay.
Were you in it?
Yeah, and I lost.
Oh, okay.
So
It's fair.
I was fighting Heston Iverson. I didn't have any legs, so I was on nubs with my shield in front of me. I felt pretty confident actually. And he does this thing where he throws his magic stone kind of up in the air, where it's gonna come down and drop on me. So I had to raise my shield to block it. And as soon as I did, shocking! And he messed me up, dude. So good kill from Heston Iverson today, who I have been told
Tricky.
was picked up by a new clan already.
Mm.
I have also
What?
been told this.
Yes.
Whoa.
He lasted a
Hold on.
total of about 4.5 minutes.
Hold on. Where's the tea? Because it needs spilled. What?
Yeah, so I don't even know if this is really my tea to spill, but I have been told that he joined. So there's a couple things that happened.
Okay.
The first thing that happened was, goodness, I'm going to butcher the names. Chaos Company and the Acolytes of Hyperius, I believe it is, not Hyperion like I originally thought it was. They merged. They have merged clans under Lord Reese. That's the first
Okay.
thing that happened. Then they went out and got Heston Iverson. So they have literally a full clan now.
Yeah.
And they dropped Efuton.
They dropped Efuton and Magnus because Magnus has basically said he's not coming back out there until property, and then we're not even sure.
Right.
Right.
And then
Um,
Efuton got picked up by Dawn Phoenix.
Okay, well, that's something I didn't know.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's
I
been
wouldn't
some
have known if
moving.
he hadn't gone home with me.
And some of that shakeup too, I think, had to do with them trying to get golden gods too. So
You talking
part of
about
them merging the two.
yeah,
the
that's
two
smart,
clans merging.
especially if all those people are on gold.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good for
mean-
them. I hope it works out for them.
You gotta do what you can. So I mean,
This is what we've talked about, though. Like there was some complaints in previous weeks about, well, we don't have the capability of doing it, and I think it was Mercer Stitch who brought up, why aren't people merging clans?
Yep.
I
It was.
personally would rather have a full 7 than 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
So
no, completely. I agree. Wow. So what clan picked up Heston?
that clan,
Oh,
it's
that-
the
yeah.
Acolytes of Hyperius.
Mixed with Chaos.
Wow.
Yeah, so they also picked up Gregor and Vix, and I think they had someone else in their clan.
Aragon.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
So
Man.
And I think he's the only one that doesn't have gold. So
I'm sure somebody will pay for him gold in
Yeah.
order to get golden gods.
that's
It's pretty cool.
that's a lot of tea.
Spill the tea.
Bam, bam. All
Probably
right.
not good to spill tea on
And-
electronics.
What was who came in second?
Heston did.
Okay.
I literally just told you that.
Well,
told you
you know
that.
what? I'm
Actually,
trying-
that's not true. I just said Heston killed
yeah,
me.
he could have got
So-
first.
Well,
I
if
guess.
you were third, then
He could have been first.
okay.
That's
well,
what I was saying.
I've changed the name of Last Man Standing a couple times for a reason. Valnier got first.
okay.
What'd you change it to?
Last Valnier Standing.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Hey,
I do it just to annoy you. You know that, right?
are your elf ears getting kind of red?
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
steaming right now.
Yeah, I see it. Like cartoon steam.
I think it's one of those things where at first it probably did bother me when I wasn't fighting, but then like when I started fighting, it doesn't bother me anymore. I don't care. But I'm gonna continue to act like it really bothers me just for
I got
fun.
you, bro.
You know?
Yeah, I got you.
Eventually, it'll be Last Daveen Standing.
No.
Yes.
It'll be Daveen sat down first. It'll be the name of the game.
All right, what do we do next?
We played Ditch. I didn't
Whoa,
know
whoa,
anything
whoa,
about this
whoa,
one.
whoa,
Whoa, whoa.
We
Wait.
don't play anything. We may have fought in ditch.
We don't
two
play.
Do you think this is a
simultaneously
game?
heard
This is real life.
Whatever you say.
We don't
So
play
anyway,
around
so we
here.
fought in ditch.
Yeah, you fought in Ditch. That's it. The
That's
How does
it?
ditch works? How does ditch work?
I have
we
no
played that?
clue.
I thought you
It looked like Red Rover. To
thought
be
you're supposed to
honest.
fight
It
over a
looks
ditch.
like
Similar.
Red Rover. Do you want to explain it, like in your normal,
Please.
like monotone kind of?
Sure.
Okay.
So
cool.
ditch is you split. You get a couple captains, and then you literally have them pick from everybody else. So they're not necessarily clan specific at all. And then so you're gonna have two roughly even teams, and then you all fight on a big battle. Each have only one life, so everybody only has one life rather. And then it's the last team alive picks a member, or loses a member. So the losing team picks a member from the winning team's team. Anybody but the captain.
Right.
How many times can you say team?
Team.
Probably
lot.
quite a few.
Team.
Yeah.
However many that was.
And there's a little bit more to that.
Yeah.
Also, like if anybody gets picked, like they're kind of safe. Like you can't
Yeah.
pick them again until everybody has been picked.
Which
is kinda
basically
cool.
means the rest of the game. Once
Yeah,
somebody
right.
switches teams, they're pretty much stuck on the
Because
other
we end up playing 5 rounds. We
Yeah.
probably could have played a 6th, but yeah. Anyway, I had a
Something-
good time doing it.
Yeah, me too. And something that was kind of cool about it, I thought, is they kind of went into how we used to do this. Is we called it, well, there'd be like two different versions. One would be ditch, one would be called monster ditch. Which, when we played at the property, that would be like allow one team to kind of pretend to be monsters. They were,
That's what we did anyway.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we did that anyway, right?
I didn't
So
realize. I thought that was
kinda
the
cool.
same game. So that might have been my problem explaining it. As I told people, I was like, "Oh, well, the one team's monsters," and I thought that was the game. I'll tell you this as one of my fondest memories.
I think
though.
that's the only way we ever really played it was in that way.
I can't remember his name, but we had a guy out there who had that big shovel. You remember what I'm talking about? Ray was his
Ray.
real name,
Mhm.
but I don't remember his character name.
I don't remember either.
Either way, we used to play ditch, and I remember getting killed by that shovel a couple times and being so mad because it was such a derpy weapon. It was like this big, giant, foamed, like snow shovel, it looked like. But I do genuinely have fond memories of that, and I honestly wish he'd come back. Last time I saw him, I think he was working at one of our local stores
Yeah, I think so.
in Deloge.
Mm-hmm. That was the last place I saw him too. It was a little while ago. I don't think we had started back up yet, so I don't know.
If I ever see him again, of course.
Mm-hmm. He was one of the original, I think.
Yeah, I think so
people.
too.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
Yeah, it was a good game. I know that like a couple of the rounds, everybody was getting kind of wore out. I mean,
Yeah, we took a little break in the middle of that one.
yeah, it was warm out today. Like it wasn't really humid as much, but it was warm.
Yeah.
And I think it was tiring everybody out because the grass hadn't been cut, so it was real thick,
True.
tall grass, and so it was like everybody was getting.
There wasn't
wore
much
out.
wind or anything
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it was good battles.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing battles, and the monsters won that. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yep.
And I will say too, something else that was kind of cool about that is whenever we did that break for everybody to get a drink, we started again kind of impromptu. Like
Yeah.
we were all just kind of like standing around, and then all of a sudden we decided, okay,
Yeah.
it's time to start again, I guess.
And not to pat myself on
That
the
part
back.
was pretty fun
here,
because we were
but
all like right in the
I
middle of each other.
definitely started that.
He
I
did.
went over there and started talking
He did.
the maddest crap. Trying, and I was like, "Oh, you want to go right now?" And then next thing you know, like everybody just started fighting over there,
Like they were
which is funny
flowing.
because we got demolished on that one.
Right. Yeah, I died like right off the bat.
But I did have a really, really good time playing like the dumb orc during that.
Yeah, I like the chance to get to play the orc and the goblin. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And then like Midnight Star, I was told basically, hey, you're retrieving her arrows. That's your job. But like you can't touch them. But like go and like position
Guard
yourself
her.
to where she can get her arrows. So I looked at her. I was like, you're in charge. You know, like. And so basically the entire time we played, I let her control what I did.
That was awesome.
And then at some point, she got kind of smart. We got demolished in like the second game, and it's because the heroes were really smart. They put all of their best players on one side and just kind of like wrecked. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
And we were on the other side, and she's like, "Hey, on this next one, I want you to just go fight them." And I was like, "You want me to stand on Valnir and Gregor and Lord Reese and there was somebody and Heston." I was like, "You want me to deal with that group of 4?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay." And I actually had a decent amount of success. I don't know how. They should have just rushed me, but that was fun though. I really had a good time during that ditch. I think we should play it again somewhat soon, and I think it's a good alternative to Scramble.
Mhm.
I don't know that you should play ditch and Scramble in the
Yeah.
same weekend, just
No.
because they're
Might be a
kind of
bit
like
much.
longer events.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I think maybe alternate or something.
Mhm.
You know?
And those games too, there's almost no way they can end early, whereas other games might be kind of quick. Those games are timed, so
Right.
I guess I didn't mention that part. What we usually do is set a timer, and there's no real. It's kind of like Scramble in that way that there's no real winner. We just go to the time is up and then end it.
Yeah.
Well, we
Yeah,
almost
we
played
didn't-
for 14 minutes today.
Sorry, but you played for less than 40 too.
It was hot.
I'm just saying, you still had 26 minutes left and everybody was off the field.
There's
Yeah.
no way there was
So-
26 minutes left. There is no possible way that's
Yes.
true.
When you speak into the mic so that our
So we only played for 14 minutes. Like
Right around what I had you set at the
That's
beginning.
crazy. There's
it
no
felt
way.
like a
There's no
long
way.
time. Were
Yeah.
you pausing it when we died?
Yes,
Right. Okay.
That's what you were telling me to do.
I
so
did.
That's what
I said in between when we're picking teams and stuff to pause that timer, so
Yeah.
we're not.
Fair enough.
Because sometimes people take a long
I'll
time.
concede. It just felt a lot longer than that.
and I will say
So-
that
Should
sorry.
have left it at 14.
Yeah. So originally I was
So I'm
saying
gonna
it.
cut him off real quick because he does it to me all the damn time.
Oh,
so
wow.
now it's my turn.
This
Okay.
feels aggressive.
I will say it is aggressive. Sorry, not sorry.
No, go ahead.
I will say that like with ditch, some of our lower level players, it was like you said, it was able to get them more actively involved.
Sure,
One
sure.
in the battle, but like with the monster side, it was they were getting involved in RP aspect.
Yeah.
So that's why I like that. I know our game compared to others, we are more RP based. They are more like what we call stick jocks. So that's what I love about our game. Our game is more like battling, but it's also more RP focused.
Okay, wait a second. I call it a game and I get in trouble. He calls it
No,
a game.
you
It's perfectly
did.
acceptable.
He wasn't talking about these games that we played.
Oh, you just.
Battles.
Oh,
games.
no. You didn't put
We
the
can-
fingers up for the first time.
We know what we're talking about. All right. This one over here.
So originally, I had told Valkyrie, or the non-living entity, 40 minutes, but I was doing it in
An
my
accent.
accent.
She
It
got
sounded
14
like
out of
14.
that.
Yeah, and there was one night that I went to Jack in the Box, and they told me to order. They were daring me to order. I don't even remember who was with me at the time, and they were daring me to order in my accent. So I was ordering, and we were ordering literally 30 tacos, and I was like, 30 tacos, and they kept not understanding like that first word. They were like, how many? And I'm like, 30. And they just kept not getting it. Finally, I had to be like 30 tacos. You know, like I just had to say it in normal voice because they didn't get it. And whoever was in the car just kept giving me crap about it, like over and over.
Was
I
it
think
LARPers?
It was Theo, I think. Theo and
Yeah,
somebody else
that
was
makes
with
sense.
me.
That makes sense.
So that was when I not that
Speaking
funny
of
stories.
Theo,
Where's he been?
where is that
I
kid?
don't know. I meant to message him actually through last week. I thought about it and I forgot again. So.
He just kind of disappeared on us.
hmm
Sad.
Oh, and I know it was already brought up.
Okay.
I brought it up to you, and apparently it's in the comments of
Oh, yeah.
last week's video.
I haven't read any of the comments. Like, for
Of course you didn't.
And yet,
North's responses.
yeah. See, I remember listening to that part because I was going to Deloge, and you were like, I will have to make sure I check the thing, and you were like, what are you going to call it? And you're like, North's responses. So, yet again, North has failed to do what he was supposed to do.
And I don't even have my phone on me right now. So.
Yeah, way to be.
I got my toes out. Does that count?
Basically, where he's going with this is he has the date when we originally started the podcast. Because I had mentioned we're going to have an anniversary at some point. I just don't know when for the podcast. And we apparently have that date.
October 23rd,
Was the first one.
2022 was our first podcast.
Cool.
There you
It
go.
was awesome.
And he's just like, cool.
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 It's not your birthday,
man.
isn't it?
No, my birthday is 9 days before that.
I mean, it's near.
That's close.
What is this? Price's Right rules or something?
You
Yeah.
went over.
You lost the
You went
showcase,
over.
bro.
Sorry. Anyway, so we had that.
Roleplay XP was actually given out to North and Daveen for that one.
Yeah, it was.
That's right.
You're
That's
right
right.
here,
Yeah.
buddy. I'm gonna be honest. I really was orking that up. I
Oh,
was
you
having
were.
a good time with it.
I was really getting into the work in the Goblin.
Thyra looked at me
Roleplay.
and she was like, North's mine. And I was like, I got Daveen. And she was like, bet. That was it.
You weren't playing.
You weren't playing.
I may not have been battling,
That's fair.
but my RP, trying to make sure that the battles commenced, was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Okay, that's fair. No, listen,
Is that
I'm not
phenomenal
arguing with
a
you.
PH?
It is.
Hey,
Cool.
I don't want to
And-
argue with him. I have a legitimate question though.
Okay.
Am I allowed to divvy the roleplay experience that was given to me? Am I allowed to divvy it to someone else? So could I take my RP and be like, all right, fine, Eric the Red
No.
can have it?
No. No, you're not allowed
Yes.
to. No. No.
Okay.
Then
I have vetoed.
I mean,
I have vetoed.
Listen, I technically didn't give any RP experience for the day. Can I give mine to Eric the Red?
No, because
Sure.
you were battling.
He wasn't
We've-
battling at the end.
I didn't battle in Minion.
We okay.
You're
but
going to take this RP XP, okay?
You're gonna
You're gonna-
take it and you're gonna like it.
You're going to take it and you're not going to say a word. But I'm sorry, Daveen giving North the people's elbow again was
Yes.
fabulous.
it
was funny.
was.
I
was
am one of these days I'm gonna do that and it's not gonna go well.
He said afterward, he said, are you all right? I tried really hard not to make sure that I didn't like come down on you real hard.
I
I said, no, I'm fine.
I try to like lay almost my entire body down and then do the elbow, but sometimes it, you know.
It's the flailing of the legs is what
It
got
is.
Thyra when his legs were just like,
I'm waiting for you to break a hip one time, kid. 'Cause that's how you do it, man.
I told him, I said, I should have pretended like he did hurt me. Get up and be like, oh my God, my back, I can't move.
The best
Can't
part
feel my
about
legs.
the best part about the whole thing though is like North was getting up and I was running over to him to like mess with him and he's like, I'll just lay back down and let him do it.
Yeah.
and everybody was yelling, he's on your team.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That
And I go,
was-
I know.
yeah. And then I just took it anyway. But.
It's good times, man. Good
It
times.
is.
Speaking of which, just throw it out there now. the 24-minute marker, basically. Code word, I think, should be
Before we
ditch.
forget.
Ditch?
Ditch.
Yeah, so
All right.
you come
With
up.
with a D.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, right. The game we played this
Fine for
week.
you?
So if you come up to one of the marshals next week and make sure to use the word ditch in a sentence or whatever, we'll mark you down for watching the podcast.
And make sure
Which
it
is
has
an
a D.
additional, which is an additional participation XP. So it'd be like playing a whole nother game. So.
Well, I'm just saying, if somebody comes up to me and says ditch with a B, I'm pretty sure I'm going to take XP away.
I mean,
You don't-
what
do
if
you have that
say,
authority?
Like,
No, but I can try.
What if you say ditch, and then you actually say with a B?
Yeah,
Okay,
let's
if
just
somebody
get
calls
away
me a
from
bitch
this.
next week.
No, I'm
You
not.
mean like
I'm not
bitch?
Oh wow.
An itch. With a D.
So anyway, you have the names over here of all the monsters
Yes.
from that ditch battle. Maybe we just go ahead and list those off.
We've got Belnar, Takimura, Joseph, Vix, Wilhelm, Daveen, Trinity, Midnight Star, Elizabeth, Reese. It says TBA, but his name ended up being Ulrich.
Right.
And Bolvar.
There you go. That was the starting monsters. We ended up getting other people. This is how the game works.
Yeah.
But
And then they were asking me about like kind of how should we do if we're going to do a winner at all, and I said because the captains don't switch sides, whichever team ends up swapping people less, so whoever wins more out of the captains.
so Trinity technically won.
Yeah.
then.
right.
Although I didn't switch
Is
sides
that
either.
right?
But
Or was it
It's fine.
even? I don't remember how it ended up being. Was it Trinity?
Yeah.
Like his team, I mean.
Yeah.
yes, it was
Yeah.
3-2
Okay.
Trinity.
It was 3-2 Trinity.
The only thing, so something, I'm going to kind of give a shout out here for something that I'm not even 100% sure happened. Not 100%.
Not 100%.
Before they picked teams, so basically I went over to Valnir, who runs Fangs, and I basically said, hey, listen, got this idea. I just want you to pick 2 of your members. We're going to make them the 2 starting captains for this game coming up. And he's like, oh, really? Like, I can't do it? I'm like, no, if you want to do it, you can. We'll find somebody else, And he's like, no, I do like that idea. And I'm like, okay, whatever. so he picks the 2, whatever, and he ends up picking Trinity and Raven. And they go and pick teams, and I watch Valnir basically walk over to them, whisper something in their ear, and then get back in line for, like, the free agents to be picked. And then I noticed that Valnir and I were the last ones picked, which is very abnormal,
Yes.
but awesome. So I want to shout out Valnir. Whatever he said to the captains that were picking, I don't know if he specifically went out of his way to say, hey, I want you to pick me and Daveen last, or what he said, but I liked how they picked teams for that today a lot, because I think some people probably, when we're picking teams and they get picked last,
Yeah.
like regularly, I'm sure that doesn't do a lot for their confidence and
You're
stuff.
right.
And so
Yeah, that's
I
cool
think that
with
was a
it.
really cool thing that Valnir did today. And if that is what happened, Valnir, thank you.
Exactly.
And I was like second to third from last, and I was pretty sad about it. So
You'll be
Rose
okay.
used to get really upset about it because she was always the last one picked, and it really used to upset her a lot.
yeah.
I mean, that's just the nature of the beast
I
a
know.
little bit, but I did appreciate
a
what they
cool-
did
yeah,
today.
way to
So
do it.
that's my whole point is just thank you. If that is what happened, thank you.
I like
and
it.
if you picked him last because he sucks, thank you too.
Also, thank you.
Yes. No, I think I agree. You know what? 100%.
100%. Only fools are positive.
Dealing in absolutes now, huh?
I'm
You know
not a
what?
Sith.
Maybe that makes
I
sense.
am not a Sith. But I do agree that like you said, I think that he was asking to pick the lower levels first, and it will boost their confidence. And I think that going forward, that should be something that we try and encourage is picking our lower levels first, so that it'll boost their confidence, and they'll get in there, and who knows, maybe they will become better.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like encouraging people to do that, I don't know that we're within our right to ask
No.
anybody to do that. But
No.
what I can do is when it does happen, shout it out.
Exactly.
Like it happened today. I'm saying that was awesome.
Yeah.
If you did it again in the future, it would be cool too.
That'd be amazing.
Anyway,
What's next?
what happened after that?
We had a patrol, one new hero,
Oh, yeah.
Ulrich.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was
And,
here. He came last
Yeah,
week
he came
and
last
did the
week. He didn't
waiver,
wanna
watched
do
the
the-
video, but then he didn't do a patrol, right? So
And Bolvar actually got roleplay XP for that.
Good for him.
it was a cool patrol.
And Bolvar is one of our dwarfs.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of
One of
looks
the few.
looks
He
like
does.
a dwarf too. He's
He
got the
does.
big red beard, and it's fitting. You know,
I agree. I don't know about 100%, but
99.9%.
I mean, agreeing 100%.
It's kind of crazy, right?
Well, is because then it only means your level of that you like. It doesn't necessarily mean I think that what you're saying is 100% true.
Well, it is if you're agreeing.
It just
100%.
means I'm agreeing 100%.
That is the same thing.
No, it just means
No, it is.
Yes.
No, because like
Yes.
let's say you
You want to take a poll?
you
Let's take a
believe
poll.
you're pretty sure that X is true. If
Okay.
I agree 100%, I'm not agreeing more than you are. I'm agreeing 100%
You
with what
can't
your
agree
opinion.
more than
That's
100%.
what. Yes, but you're not saying 100%.
I'm saying that.
You're
Look
saying
down
if
at
you
the floor
say
and back
you're
away
pretty
slowly.
sure. If you say I'm pretty sure that this is X
So
is
anyway,
Okay.
meanwhile,
you're
back
not
at
saying
property,
100%.
Okay.
So if I say I
While
agree
he's
100%,
out there,
I'm agreeing
we're gonna try
to
and
the
talk
percentage
over
that
him
you are
so
saying.
that maybe our viewers will totally.
This is
get
making it more
Good.
difficult.
doing.
So you're saying if I say,
I think he needs to look at the
If you're
floor
like
and back away
95%
slowly.
sure.
I mean, I would say. So my
Yes.
big thing is I say 99.9%.
Okay.
Because I don't like dealing
If I'm
in absolutes.
100% sure,
So you're also
Nonetheless.
99.
Yes.
Okay, I'm with you.
do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's a percentage.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
What
with
is
you.
the answer to life?
42.
How sure are you?
Nobody's talking to you.
Okay.
You're a vampire. Go do vampire things.
I mean, I probably
We
wouldn't say
settled
that
it.
while you're sitting next to him.
Oh,
What,
Oh.
what is
Well,
this?
Skittles,
Mystery
will stop the
Skittles?
argument.
Why they look weird?
Yeah.
Is it mystery?
Are they? Are
They're the
these?
Pride Skittles.
Are they sus?
They're Pride Skittles, so they're not rainbow.
They're gray.
Awesome. That's cool.
I stopped the argument. Yay me!
It wasn't an
Well,
argument.
yeah.
We were literally agreeing with
Yeah,
each other.
we figured it out. I agree
Okay.
with him 100%.
I agree 99.9%. So actually, he's 99.9%
Right.
as well.
yes.
Right.
Okay, so
Blind Faith, got it.
what was next?
Minion was next,
Okay.
and Trinity won.
What?
Good
Yeah.
for him. This is,
Blind
sounds
Faith
wild.
is
And,
something totally different.
Normally we're telling everybody speaking to the mic, speaking to the mic. He's over there chewing in the
So you broke
You
up the
shut your
argument,
mouth.
but you added this.
Shut your mouth.
I'm not really sure there's a clear winner right now. I'm going to move this. So do you have the suggestion box stuff? Because that's probably next
don't
on the
have shit.
agenda.
Yeah, I have it.
Well, that's good.
But
So
you guys got to fill the air while I look.
We
it up.
are welcoming
When don't
in a new
we?
marshal.
Do what?
We welcome in a new marshal.
We are?
Yeah, but we
Uh-huh.
didn't swear in today.
She's not sworn in yet,
Oh.
but she has a character now.
She's everything but sworn in, so.
Yep.
What's that even supposed to mean?
It means she's passed the test for
Because
the
she's
marshal.
like 99.9%
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
All right.
I'm still waiting for the key phrase.
Where'd you did it?
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You said the code word.
Let's move on.
You want me
Thank
to say
you.
nonetheless? Is that
Yes, I did. Come on, there's not a freaking podcast that you don't say it. I think you even said it last week.
I doubt it.
I
I do it for you.
I appreciate that,
So
bro.
when you're not here, probably not.
I still appreciate it.
Yep. Okay. Thank you for appreciating that.
And you know what? I was thinking about you this week.
Were you?
I was.
I mean, I know you have because you made TikToks that literally. No, he did.
Bam.
He tagged me in multiple TikToks this week
I did. You know why?
because I watch him.
He watches them and he likes them,
It's true. It's true.
and he doesn't like them if I say no country. He doesn't like it.
That's not so. This is what. Let me tell you the real story about what happened with that because I feel like this is already off. There was 1 week. He was doing that. He was going, oh, and don't listen to country music because no one's allowed to have a different opinion.
Oh,
No.
of course not.
And I told him, I said, hey, listen, if you keep saying don't listen to country music, I'm gonna stop liking your TikToks. So I technically, I just threatened it.
He blackmailed you.
He did.
You don't have to say listen to country music. You don't have to like make a point to say it. Just say listen to your tunes. Everyone has their own tunes. There's music I don't like.
I agree, but I mean,
How much do you agree?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
My playlist is scrambled of a lot of different stuff.
Like what? Give us an example. What's your like dirty song that you don't want anybody to know that you listen to this song?
Oh, I bet I know it.
My kids call it Daveen's song. It's actually "I'll Make a Man Out of You" by Roman Milan.
I feel like I should feel offended.
You should be proud.
Sorry. I mean, I do like the Mulan soundtrack.
Gonna
It's
make a
good.
man out of you.
Every time it
banger.
plays, like the kids are yelling, "It's Daveen's song!"
I'll take it. Hey, Mulan was a good little film, you know?
Here, just take like 2, and then pass whatever's. I don't
Yeah,
know
you
how many
have
I
too
gave you.
many, okay?
Yeah, give me one.
Don't
back.
read them before you pass them.
Every
one back.
single week, I get this chicken scratch bullshit.
By the way, I
Every
think
You want
s-
to trade me?
I think I know that chicken
No.
scratch bullshit.
His face. Here you go. There's a sip. Wait, trade me that
You
one.
need 3 ones?
I will trade one.
Oh, no, I'm keeping this one. It's dirty.
Ooh, is it spicy?
A little bit, yeah.
Ooh.
Once you were able to read it.
Yeah, it's actually funny.
Okay. I have a pretty serious one, but I mean, it's not like bad necessarily, but it's some good suggestions. And the person did sign it, so I assume they're okay with everybody knowing who it
Let's
was.
go.
It says 2 things. We need some sort of reminder that quills need to be returned to the suggestion box when someone is done using them. So don't just leave them laying around. And it is true that they end up being less and less every week, where I'm going to have to eventually buy some more. And I understand that there's a certain amount of loss that's going to happen in that regard. But yeah, it'd be great if people would try to make sure they don't just misplace my pens. It'd be cool. I do
Oh,
buy
they're
those.
your pins, huh?
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Phlarp buys them, whatever. Phlarp's pens.
Okay, that's better.
What an arsehole.
And then 2, people need to start cleaning up their messes before leaving. It should not be up to only just one person. We should all be taking responsibility for our own messes instead of pushing it off. Heimdall. So thanks, Heimdall.
Thank
I agree.
you.
I actually agree. Can I tell you guys about what happened today?
How much do you agree?
99.9%.
Okay.
I agree 100% with him.
Perfect. So check this out. So today, I found a piece of pizza on the ground, and it's covered in ants. I mean, both sides. It's covered in ants. And I'm like, what the heck? Somebody threw their pizza down here, you know? And North goes, oh, that's my pizza. Picks it up, puts it on the pavilion. Now there's 1 million ants on the pavilion, and just left it there. So at some point, I got aggravated and threw it away, which was kind of a lot because I had to carry it with ants. Probably like a good 30 yards.
That's just messed up, bro.
And then near the end of the day,
Yeah, yeah. Whether that's true or not, he walked over with like just the crust of the pizza and was like, "I found that pizza." He's like, eating it. I was like, "I hope not. That's gross." So who
it
knows
was
if
the
it's
same
true
piece
or
of
not?
pizza. So.
It certainly was
I did
not.
it just for that reason.
Anyway, it was kind of funny, but I agree. Thank you, Heimdall, for the suggestion.
I agree. Thank you. Okay. Did you know that YouTube has a content creator who happens to be a werewolf?
Say what?
His name is Like and Subscribe, and be sure to hit the bell for notifications when videos go live.
That's funny.
Awesome.
That's way funnier than North's
You
story.
don't get it, do you?
Okay, what do you got?
I agree.
Major clan
Like
upset.
98%.
Whoa. Shh.
A major clan upset has occurred. There are now 2 powerhouse clans. The battle for the crown will be bloody and fierce.
There you go. We kind of already talked about that, but 99.9% agree.
Hell yeah.
Let's see what I got here. Oh, yeah, you'll like this one.
Doubt it.
The wizard has placed once more in Last Man Standing. Perhaps we should call it Last Heston Standing instead.
No, I don't like that at all.
I mean, to be fair, does anybody place more than Heston in Last Man Standing?
Rand did.
No. Sorry,
Rest
but
his
no.
soul.
No. No one has placed more than Heston in Last Man Standing.
You know
period,
what?
End of story.
That suggestion right there leads me to believe that my deduction was right, that he did murder Rand on purpose.
He might have. I will say this. There is some sus circumstances there at best, right? People
Around-
don't just usually not come back from the portal
Yeah.
of Pandune. And I can tell you that I've heard from other people that have been around Rand that he's already experienced the portal of Pandune. So the fact that he got lost up in there, something's off.
Very, very sus, bro.
Okay, I will no longer change the name of Last Man Standing. We'll leave it at Last Man Standing.
Okay.
Do you see what you've done?
Way to be.
I didn't do it. Whoever
Yeah,
suggested
this
that
this
did.
is your fault.
This
I've
is
changed
your
it.
fault.
All
Okay.
right. What do you got?
I have this one says the game of ditch was super duper radical to the max. Yo.
Agreed. 99.9%.
Yo.
All right.
Yes, the whole thing. Super duper radical to the max. Yo.
Giggity. All right, so this is a they're laying down a whatever, and it says calling all Smiths. I don't know who Smith is, but the kingdom is growing to a point where the armory does not have enough steel for new heroes. I am challenging all to donate new offhand, one-hand, and two-hand blades, as well as shields if you have the skill. Let's work together for the future of Derbyshire.
And also, I am allowing anybody that wants to take a loner weapon home that has an X on the tip of it, which means the tip is wore down a little bit, so it's not quite so bad that we have to take it out of the game, but you got to be careful with them because they are a little bit more of an exposed tip than others.
Here,
We're
just take one of
allowing
these
people
cards.
to take one of those home through the week, repair it, and if you repair it and bring it back, as long as it looks like a pretty good repair job, we'll give you donation XP for that too. So
Cool. And are you only? This is a question I think that everybody would need. It's fine. Just let it be. Don't even look at it. Let the camera judge him. As far as like weapons that you're accepting for like donation or whatever, is it all weapons, or do you want them in the same style that you've made the other one? Like, are you accepting boffer weapons?
I would accept all weapons.
Okay.
I think new people, if you're going to use a boffer, I will say I have decided that if somebody's using a loner weapon and they just like destroy it, that I'm not going to allow them to use another loner weapon. So keep that in mind. If you use a boffer, they can get destroyed easier. I've loaned them out and then literally get destroyed within like a couple minutes of having them completely
you have
repaired.
to take care of them a lot more than you do a taped and foamed weapon.
But really, either one would be fine. Because if it's something that I don't think is like good enough or whatever, we'll just use at least the core and remake it if we
That's
have
fair.
to.
Yeah,
So.
because cores kind of are hard to come by sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know who the jokester is, but it's not on here. Anyway, when arguing with your wife, stop shouting for a moment and tie a cape around her neck. And say, now you're super angry. She might laugh, she might strangle you. Either way, the fight will be over.
Wow.
I mean,
The delivery was rough on that one, but
That's
I
because...
get the joke.
Nah, no.
yeah, I mean,
I've heard
your
that one
delivery
once.
might have been worse than North's.
Thank you. I
Hey, that's
appreciate
hard.
that.
That's hard.
All right, let's see what I got here.
Like, that's brutally hard, bro.
This one says, my wife was upset because someone at the mall called her short. So I poured her a glass of wine, cooked her dinner, and drew her a bubble bath in the sink. I don't think that one was as funny. It's okay.
Wow.
Did we finish the recap all
Yes.
the way?
Yes, we did.
Yes,
I feel
we
like-
did.
Did we read that last one, Minion? I don't even remember reading it. What
Well-
was I doing?
Trinity.
Did you guys do
Trinity
it
won,
while I was?
yes.
Maybe you
Cool.
should just like pay attention a little bit better.
No kidding. Maybe
Maybe.
you should be like banned.
Okay.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's not talk about banning people.
Why not?
So let's talk about what do we expect, you know, when we go out to property in the springtime, whatever the date is, you know, whatever date we
Should
decide.
be March.
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 So let's
I
say
think is
March.
Tentative.
So we go out there in March or April or whatever it is. What do we expect? What's going to be different from the park to the property? Like when I go out there right now, you know, at the park, I go out there and I have to put my costume on. And it takes me a minute to kind of get into character or whatever. Are we doing those same things at the property, or is it like when I walk into the property, I should be in character?
Yeah, it's more like the latter that you should. I think what I try to do is the entire time I'm like literally parking lot is the only place that's out of character, and the grand hall. If you want to be out of character, you don't have to put your fingers up in the grand hall or anything. You just talk
Right.
like normal. That's kind of the place for normal, you know, conversation. Although it will be themed to be in character, so if you want to stay in character in the grand hall, you can. But the parking lot is basically the only place that's meant to be that's like entirely out of character.
Okay.
So once you exit your chariot, you're in character.
Or
Well,
if
once-
somebody was
so-
talking about stuff and they were like refusing to participate in the game by talking about like out of game stuff or whatever, I don't know, like somebody like, arguing or I have no
Sure.
idea.
They're speaking Babylon.
I would be like, oh, can you take that to the parking lot? Instead of being like, can you stop that? I would say like, if you're going to continue doing that, go to the parking lot, because that's the only place you're supposed to be sitting there and just not engaging in the game.
Sure. I will say this. So when we were there before, one of the things that I did is I can kind of change how my thought process is. So I would get there at the car, I would change into my garb, grab all the stuff I needed, And then before I like started walking up the path for Phlarp, I would just go, okay, I'm not Brandon. I'm whoever I was at the time, right? I'm in this character mode. Ooh. And then I was pretty much good for the most part. I mean, obviously you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna, say things out of character occasionally. It's gonna happen. But if you can be right 99.9% of the time, ultimately the experience there is going to be so much better for everybody. You're going to walk into literally an entirely different world. So I'm going to get there, and there's not going to be any talk about Minecraft or who's dating who or any of this other crap. Like, we're going to get there, and it's all going to be politics, role play. Did you hear what the acolytes of Hyperius did to Fangs? Whatever it is. And if you can, like, be in the moment the entire time you're there, for me, the experience is so much better. So that's kind of what I did. But
yeah, I agree. And what I try to do, what I'm going to end up, I may not get everything built in time in the beginning, but what I the concept behind it is kind of this concept about portals. So like every place that you go, when you drive up to the property, the first portal that you basically encounter is the parking lot to the door of the Grand Hall. So like even if you've never been there before, there's going to be like space that you have to cross. You park your car, the rocks are starting to turn blue in the driveway, so you have the idea of, I'm coming in from Port Fate, because everybody out of game through the week is presumably at Port Fate doing whatever. So if you're not there a week, you can be like, oh yeah, I stayed in Port Fate last week and I did whatever, and just make some stuff up about whatever you did. And it kind of serves as like a catch-all for whatever you're doing out of game to be able to like translate it into game. And so this kind of helps you get in the headspace. You're getting out of a car. You're seeing that the thing is like a river. This is my carriage or boat or whatever. And then you come up and you go through the door. And then in the Grand Hall, it'll be kind of have a theme. So it'll have like a rustic theme. I'm not going to say like the whole. I'm just going to kind of trying to keep from spoiling the entire concept of what the Grand Hall is going to be. But then you'll be funneled essentially from the parking lot into the Grand Hall, and then from the Grand Hall, your next portal will be the exit to the Grand Hall, which is the back door of the trailer. And when you open that door, you'll be basically in the center of town. Like you should be like where the castle's, like right there somewhere.
Gotcha.
Where you can see the castle. There's like all this stuff here, and you're like, whoa, what? I'm like in town, and then, and it's meant to like kind of work in tandem with the way patrol works. So I don't want to give too much spoilers, but it'll work even more seamlessly. We'll stop doing patrol at the park. So at the park, we'll just show them the video and tell them go. There'll be no patrol at the park.
Gotcha.
But we're not going to create a character either. So all they got to do is watch the video and go and play. They sign a waiver, they're good. If they want the full game, the park is kind of like the teaser trailer for the real game.
A demo.
Yes, yeah. And we tell them, you want to experience the full thing, go to the property, and then they'll initiate you proper or whatever, get you in the computer, create your character and stuff is probably what we'll say. And then they'll go to the property, and there's going to be a room in the trailer that'll be used for the podcast equipment. Well, we'll put them in the room to show them the video that has the more in-depth video about what they would see at what they're going to see at the property. And then outside, we'll be hearing the music. Whenever they put them in that room for the podcast, they'll start playing music over some Bluetooth speakers that we have at the property. I'm going to put it way up on something real high where we can hear it no matter where we're at. Hopefully, eventually, I'll have some kind of like AM broadcast thing, kind of like the movie theater, so that we can have different stations that will just like be battery charged radio stations, and they'll just be on whenever they have power, and it will just be playing the music that is the same music, presumably playing from the computer or whatever. Well, when that music starts, a certain type of music will probably be like the March on Isengard or whatever it's called.
Right. It doesn't matter what, but we'll recognize the music. Yeah.
So everybody will start getting set up, and then you'll be like, okay, this is crazy. What is this? You'll have some idea of the fighting and stuff, but then they'll come get you, and they'll be like, all right, the video's over, so just go out here, and then I'll be standing outside the back door, and then we'll do patrol. We'll start there from the patrol, and you guys kind of already know how patrol works and how that's designed to kind of get somebody into the game, and the idea is to help you get into that headspace, essentially, so that by the time you're in the middle of town, you are so immersed that it would feel weird to not be in character.
No, I get it. And just to add to that, too, and I'm sure this is something you've already considered, but what I think would help that, too, is if not only you, but all of the marshals had walkie-talkies.
Mm-hmm.
That way,
True.
like, whenever they were ready, because you're not really going to know for sure if whatever, you just like, hey, man, there's an issue out here with goblins and orcs. Like, we're going to need your attention,
Mhm.
whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And, that could kind of transition into that too, where this, like, new hero's like, wait, what? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
And then something else I want to do. I mean, this is kind of, we didn't really do this before, but something I want to start doing that I think will help encourage the immersion, essentially, which is the goal, is to have people that don't want to do combat during the initiation or don't want to participate in initiation. I'm going to ask, instead of going out and doing the initiation, basically, or the patrol, to instead play dead, so that when I do the tour of the town, they will have some sense of threat, because there'll be like people laying in the buildings like dead, and you'd be like, oh, what's
okay.
this?
So like me.
They're just like laying there dead. Yeah, so that when we walk by you, or you in the and you guys are in the tavern chilling or whatever, you're like, I'm not gonna do patrol, and then when you hear us coming, you'll just basically pretend like you're dead. Yeah,
Like
and then we'll be like,
Andy's
oh man, they were in
toys.
here. Yeah, kind of, and we'll be like, whoa, they were in here,
Valkyrie died.
So
I mean, I like it.
same with the 10-minute recession. If somebody doesn't want to participate in 10-minute recession, instead go in
Play
a building and play dead for 10 minutes. I don't even care if you kind of
Honestly,
get your phone out and look at it
That's
while you're
something
doing
we
that.
didn't do before that I think we should do, is that, like, inside buildings are off limits.
Yeah. Eventually we did do that, but
Did we?
yeah, because they were fighting right at
At the tavern,
threshold.
I remember. Yeah, it was terrible.
It was crazy.
No,
So,
fair enough.
For those that don't know, 10-minute recession makes town unsafe for 10 minutes.
It makes everything unsafe.
So you can die in town.
I actually want to like have an actual tavern.
That's the first building I'm going to build. So the very first building that I am planning on having for spring, the only one that I'm for sure going to have, that I'm planning to have, is the tavern.
And I don't want to put a damper on anything for you, but we can't have alcoholic beverages there
Mm-hmm.
in the tavern.
Right.
We wanted to before, and we just can't do it.
I was thinking more like,
Like some fake ale stuff would be
Yes.
cool. Like you could serve like root beer and
Mm.
cream soda or whatever, and
Right.
that would be pretty cool.
that's what I meant. What do you think I meant?
I don't know, Fireball.
No.
Ching.
No.
Sorry.
I do not do Fireball.
And then
That would
Me
be
and
a kind
Fireball
of
do not mix.
that would be like a dope alcoholic beverage to sell, like at a fantasy game, though, wouldn't it?
I mean, there could be, I don't know. I guess I have to look up the logistics of it. But on the role play night, if, it's possible that one day we might allow that on, like, role play nights where we're not
Right.
fighting. Where we
Sure.
know for sure
And we
nobody's
know,
going to pick up a weapon.
and we would obviously check
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ages
and stuff,
right,
like
right.
IDs or whatever.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay, just for the record, Valkyrie loves Fireball. So everybody's
So
aware.
do wizards.
Yeah.
And then another thing that has to do with property, this is kind of unrelated, but it has to do with property, is I think I'm going to wait until we go to property to have our first battle for the crown.
We've talked about that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's shocking to anybody.
No.
listening
I
to the
think that
podcast.
should even be one of the first things we do. Like,
It just makes
honestly.
more sense though.
I think it'd be kind of cool if we only on the day of opening, that's the only game we worried about playing. Like, get that game done, and then just, and even if we don't play anymore, cool.
Okay. I mean, I'm done with it. But
Yeah,
I
kind of a
think
wild
this is
game to
all
play.
kind of what's the word we use? Where it's,
Tentative.
This could change, but
Right.
it's an
Or
idea. We'll
subject to
talk about
change,
it or
right.
whatever. But
Mhm.
I think the day of could be kind of hectic because I think you might
Maybe.
end up having quite a few new people that day.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh, yeah, that's true. And then,
But I mean, I think we should do it soon, like within a month or within 2 months for sure.
because we'll have to establish the positions and
Right.
stuff, which part of that will probably be with one of the first Battle for the Crowns that we play.
I have a question, and again, we're going to use tentative. So for the tentative grand opening of property, are we going to have like a celebration, like like a barbecue or whatnot? You know what I'm talking about?
Pig roast.
I mean,
What we may do, I would have to change my work schedule, but I can go down a few days. I'm basically working 4 days a week, 10-hour shifts. But I'm doing that because I'm trying to make as much money as I can fast.
Right.
So I don't really have to work 4 days a week. I could probably, if I can get Fridays off, or just switch my day off, because right now my day's off like Thursday and Saturday and Sunday. If I could switch it to Friday being my day off, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I would be able to start roleplay nights right off the beginning, and then we would have that celebration. So roleplay nights would start Friday at 3 p.m. or so,
Mm-hmm.
and then it would run all the way. It's just roleplay, and it runs all the way till dawn Saturday, and dawn of Saturday is when combat begins. So that's when we call the first event. We log everybody in.
So I guess there's not a specific time, but you're talking 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Whenever dawn. Yeah. If we do that,
Yeah.
if we do the role play night, yes, it will be crack of dawn is when everybody we call the first event, and which is also presumably is when people come up and get logged in.
Right.
Because even on the role play nights, we won't log in. There's no XP. There's no bonus to being there on a role play night except for the fun of it. But on that night, if we're doing that, we may be able to do that on one of the first Fridays that we're open. So.
Okay. That
I like
sounds
it.
amazing.
I
Or
like it.
maybe on a potentially even a Sunday morning before we go up to the park, because we'll still be doing the park. So
Right.
I do like the idea of there being some kind of feast for that, whatever it is, and we can collaborate on that after the podcast or whatever. And whether it be 2 or 3 of us pitching in some money to get some stuff, that's fine.
and we could even just do it instead of trying to get, even if I'm not off every single Friday, I might well
Right.
just be off on a Friday so we can have at least one big celebration.
Right.
It would just be for the opening.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And then perhaps we could do it at the year marks or something after that.
I think that would be
Or
cool.
on the Saturday morning of the Saturday that we open or whatever, something. I'd be cool with that. It'd be cool to have a big
fried
dinner
egg
or something.
sandwiches.
I do like fried egg sandwiches.
We could
Assuming he still makes them like he used to. What if he lost his touch,
have you?
Mm.
We gotta find out.
No.
Nah, not a big
Do we need to get? Do we need to get a Blackstone grill?
Can.
What you didn't have anything fancy before.
Just whatever. I think it was literally
It was
a,
literally just like one of
iron
those little
skillet.
higher. No, it was like those little you can do like multiple
Oh,
grilled
okay,
cheese
like a-
sandwich things on, like a flat.
Griddle,
Right. Like a
griddle,
little
or
griddle.
whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Griddle.
Yeah.
It was
I-
impressive.
I will say that my son-in-law Connor, because I told him I would shout him out this week. His birthday was last week, and he got a Blackstone grill.
Good for him.
Mhm.
So
Cool.
I don't know. Maybe one of those days he might allow me to utilize that,
Mm.
To borrow it.
so that we could see if your skills are up to par still.
Oh
Okay.
wow. I mean, you could make like a mass amount of fried egg sandwiches quickly with one of those.
Yeah.
And
It's like real big or something. I
I'm
don't even know what
loving
it
Yeah,
is.
it's
Yeah.
probably about this big, and it's a big griddle,
Yeah.
basically
Cool.
stand up. It's nice though. I'd
Yeah.
like to have one too, but they're expensive.
Sorry to butt in, but how could I learn how to do roleplay?
Learn to do roleplay.
Because
I would say-
trying to learn.
I would say it's not something. I mean, it's hard to teach. So it's more like a combination of.
I think it's more
For those who that couldn't hear,
I
for the
think it's
listeners'
mostly
sake,
experience, personally.
Lilith was asking how to do roleplay better, basically. There are some games where they script their stuff, where they're like, we're gonna have a thing we do, and some people do somewhat script things.
Which is whack.
Yeah, I feel like it's better if it's impromptu. Let's say I want to punish Brandon for something he did in game,
Daveen, but yeah.
or Daveen. My plan wouldn't be to go to Brandon and be like, oh, if I didn't know him very well, I would go to him first just to make sure that he was cool with it, and not going to get somehow personally offended. But even if he was going to get personally offended, I would try to figure out how to do that entirely in game. So I would be like, okay, we're going to need to get shackles, and when we kill this guy, we're going to literally, we're not going to kill him. The plan is to shackle him, and then take him out in the middle in front of everybody. Hire people to guard. Use your copper to hire people to guard you, and so that if somebody comes and tries to interfere with whatever you're doing, I don't like the idea of being like, hey, we're role playing. I mean, I want to be able to be like, kill that guy. What's
Yeah.
he doing?
Like
Coming over
anybody
here
could
messing with us.
interrupt at any time.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that but basically what I was saying, I kind of got trailed off, but on a tangent. But it's basically a combination of, it's kind of like you were saying, you got to just watch it and stuff, but it's really a matter of just kind of trying it and just being like, oh, I don't know. I guess it's kind of like, at first, it's a combination of, what do they call that? Improv and
Like
just
impromptu things.
yeah, and just kind of figuring out how to say things is another big thing. Figuring out how to say things that would be difficult to say in character. So if I want to explain, oh, I wasn't here last week because I went to the gym, or whatever, I'd be like, oh, I went to Port Fade. I was training in the gladiatorial arena, or whatever. As just some kind of approximation for whatever it is that you're trying to say that you would be doing,
Yeah.
And then as you get better at it, then you kind of get to where who plays off you better, and you get a little bit more of like a reputation or something, and then it's kind of figuring out, I think anyway, a little bit of principles. So if you figure out like my character would be not okay with this,
Okay.
then that's like a defining character trait. Like how I'll say like, oh, I don't like elves as North, and people will ask me, why don't you like elves? And so I have to have some kind of reason, and then what I say is, it's mainly they usually always discriminate against me basically because I'm an undead thing, and they don't like that.
It's not just that.
That's basically what I am.
Mostly they're super xenophobic. So
that too. Yeah.
So elves, as a rule, think that anyone that's not an elf is dumber than they are. So, I mean, that's like, but that's something that you can choose to. See, I think he kind of overcomplicated a little bit. My
Maybe.
answer would essentially be, you do it, and you roll with it. Even when you feel like, oh, I feel like a goofball or whatever it is, you got to lean more into it. And if you just like basically go full tilt with it, this is my character, this is who I am, it'll work out.
It's kind of just trial and error until you
Yeah.
figure out your way of going around things.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have another question. What's like another way of like an accent that I could use since I'm like an undead vampire?
Look up on YouTube. I mean, is what I've done, and I can't do any of the other accents really, but there was like a German one, and they'll basically teach you a word or two to say to help you be able to say other things and like get you in the mode of that, of speaking like that. They'll say like, trying to think of an example. I can't think of an
A
example.
lot of times it's vowel sounds. So like if you say certain vowel sounds like A's and E's and I's, whatever it is, if you like use those in every single word that has that vowel sound,
right.
then you're gonna have an accent. And
Like
there's
on
other
my
things you
accent.
can do.
I try to, every time there's an R in it, I go, role play, just try to do that no matter what, whenever there's an R in it, as much as I can anyway. And,
So
then,
he
and,
can
then,
roll
and
his
then the
Rs.
accent ends up
Valnir did
coming
that
out
to
of
me,
it.
and I was like, I don't do the rolling on the R's thing. No.
I mean, it's really just like how far you want to take it. So on my phone here, I have a list of Elvish phrases that I'm constantly reading. So I can speak, 4, 5, 6 different phrases in Elvish. Granted, nobody understands what I'm saying, but at least I know that if I'm an elf and I can at least say 6 or 7 things, that there's a more, like, it's more believable that I'm an elf because I can at least speak the language a little bit.
Yeah.
So I just have like, like, hi, well met, what's your name? My name is, yes, no, do you speak Elvish? Those kind of things.
Yeah. So like with the vampire and like a demon, is that there's like something on there?
Like you can Google it and
You
just
can-
be like vampire translations or accents or whatever. Like with me,
Be careful, you'll end up with the blah, blah, blah.
yes,
Blah, blah, blah,
you get blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
like with me, I mean, I watched Game of Thrones and then I just watched a bunch of stuff that had like, I want to say British, but United Kingdom, and so just listening to that and kind of trying to mimic, I think is the
Yeah, a lot of
correct
it's
word.
mimicry. Yeah.
Mimic what they're saying and some of their gestures. Mine kind of comes out more Australian, but I mean, a lot of people from Australia came from the United Kingdom, so it kind of marries. So it's just literally like, watching shows and mimicking some of their gestures or mimicking some of their accents.
And practicing when you're by
Yeah.
yourself, saying things that you are normally not say as your character helps.
Yep.
Like I've literally walked around my house and just been like trying to think as my internal monologue in an accent. Like say it out loud in an accent just to
Watch
try to.
doing that, though, because if people come in and they hear you doing it, they're just going to look at you like you're crazy.
That's on
true.
them, bro.
Yeah.
If
I
you're
live
good enough,
my
though,
life. It is what it is.
if you're good enough, you can just keep talking in accent. They won't know
Yeah.
the difference. Whenever I was
True.
Like I do it at home.
at MaxCon, they had this. I know it wasn't MaxCon; it was SemoCon. They had like a pasta cafe or whatever for like, it's like an anime thing or something.
Yeah.
They had like a rice cafe or whatever, and we just went over there and started like role playing with them. And apparently, you were supposed to buy something, but they let us in anyway because we were like role playing. And then this other lady come in and ordered some food, and she's like, and we were like, oh, you want to come over and sit with us, And she's like, oh, sure, whatever, And so she come over and she's like eating her noodles or whatever, and we're playing like, what's that? It's like ladders or something. You got to remove the chairs or you stack the chairs and it can't fall over. It's kind of like the opposite of Jenga.
Or like, I'm thinking of Shoots and Ladders.
Yeah, it's called something chairs and something, I can't remember what it's called. But we were playing this game, and the whole time I was in an accent. And at one point, I like said something out of accent. I was like, oh, blah 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 something, and she looked at me like really crazy, and she was like, which one is your real accent? She's like, are you talking in that one and that's your other one, or do you just put it on an American accent? And I was like, oh no, I was like, this is my real voice. I was like, that's my other voice or whatever, my character voice. And she was like, oh, I just came back from somewhere. It was somewhere overseas. And she said, you did a really good job, like a really awesome job. I was like, well, cool. That's cool.
That's a compliment.
Yeah.
There you go. No, awesome. Is there anything else we needed to talk about here on the podcast today?
Just how awesome I was today.
And I agree with what you were saying, 100%.
See?
That-
Thank you.
I watched
Thank you.
I watched Braveheart for my accent too, like
He's
a whole bunch.
talking about watching shows for his accent.
That's
not
what I agree
that
with.
You were doing great.
Agree with what
I
you were
didn't say
saying about
great. I
watching
said
movies.
awesome. Get it right.
Blah 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 blah.
But yeah, just practicing over and over is on the accent.
We
part.
all 100% agree that you suck.
I will never 100%
You will,
agree to that
100%.
at all.
I vetoed his choice, and it's 100%. So,
I don't think.
but
North
thank
would
you for
agree.
agreeing with me that one, I am awesome, and two, that watching shows like that, you will pick it up.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but you can do it while I'm working, so that I don't have to listen to it.
Jeez.
That was brutal.
It kind of was.
While I'm
And even-
working,
Rude.
she blares
Rude.
music, and I'm like, I can't think. Leave me
here-
alone.
Here's another example. And it's like for goblins, I don't even have an accent. I literally try to talk like Mickey Mouse. Literally.
Hey. Be nice to Mickey.
Just.
Nice sneeze, you
Oh,
called me Minnie,
boy.
so.
Come on, Pluto.
I did go, oh, a couple times as a goblin.
Woo!
But, yeah, I guess, I don't know, that was it.
Yeah.
I have an orc accent too I use that's more like British.
You have
British.
a what?
Orc.
Okay.
That's
I thought
because
you
Lord of
said
the
a-
Rings made orcs.
I thought you said you have a work accent. I was like, you have an accent at work? What?
Meat's back on the table, boys.
To be
Hey.
fair,
I did wear my
also-
contacts to
I
work
also
one
heard
time.
a work accent. That's true. I actually heard work accent as well.
Yes.
But orc. Gotcha.
I wore my contacts to work once.
Now, how many people
My
did
boss-
you freak out?
Like allowed me or whatever, asked her. None of them asked me what about them at all. None of them. I don't know if it was like they thought it
just
was a
assumed you were
medical
vampire
condition
and walked on.
or what, and they didn't want to like pry. Literally nobody said anything about my
I mean, to be fair, doesn't that like say something about you as a person? Like
eyes.
they
They're just
like didn't
oh,
even
well,
question it. They're like,
He's
his
got
eyes are
red
red.
eyes. Weird.
All right, bro.
So,
Whatever.
for the record, my brother takes his dogs to the vet
Mhm.
he works at.
Mhm.
Okay.
And apparently, the last time,
Did I have my nails done?
extra nail.
Yeah, people do ask me about that whenever I have them done.
So he was like, there's this very strange man, and I think he's one of
Very
yours.
Strange
Very
man.
strange.
I think he's one of yours.
He said, I think he's the one that's yours. And I was like, what? He was like, his nails were painted, but they weren't painted one color. I
Yeah.
was like, okay. And he was like, he's really tall. Not taller than me, but he's tall. I was like, it's north. It's just north.
It's just North. So you're a very strange person.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll take
He's
that
our
title.
he's our very
Yeah.
strange.
He's
Yes,
ours.
he's our
He's
very strange
ours.
person.
I would go to war for North.
We have to claim him.
I'm with Daveen.
Would you battle for a crown for me?
99.9% of the time.
I'll watch.
There you go.
I'll lay on the ground and act dead and watch.
I'll be a character and like start it for you.
All right. That
There
works.
You go. There you go.
All right.
And with that,
With that being said,
We hope you keep listening.
and we hope you keep battling in the name of our capital, Darvishan.
and we hope to see you all next week.
Bye.